What's going on, everybody? This is Omar Thabet, and first of all, I want to say thank you to everybody that came out to the event yesterday. It was a great time. I really did have a good time. I felt like we had good conversation yesterday with a lot of different people. But you know, one of the things that I did was I wrote a poem, and my hope was that someone was going to record, and then I could post it on social media today. But you know, I guess my family didn't expect the poem because I never told them. And long story short, no one recorded it. So I kind of wanted to share the poem because, you know, I felt like it could be impactful for some people. So the poem that I wrote has to do with mental health, and I call the poem Lmnop. The reason why I wanted to title my poem that is because I wanted to have something that related to mental health and that the stigma around it. You know, we all know that there's a bad stigma going around with mental health, and so therefore, you know, the reason why I called it Lmnop is because, you know, my wife and I, we have a daughter, and she's almost 2 years old, and she watches a lot of YouTube videos, and of course, a lot of them have to do with the alphabet. And you know, when we hear the alphabet, mostly every video, you know, it goes A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P. And so I realized, like, you know, they skip through the letters L, M, N, O, P, you know, which made me realize that that would be the title of my poem, because just like those letters, you know, we all recognize that those letters are there, but we skip through it quicker than any other letters, just like the mental health issues we face today. You know, we all recognize that it's here, but when it comes to discussing the topic or doing something about it, you know, we kind of seem to skip through it and not talk much about it, or as much as we should, that is. So this poem is called Lmnop. If I walked in here and told you that I had a flu, rest and drink fluids is what you'll tell me to do. If we play basketball and I sprain my wrist, you tell me to ice it for a couple weeks and the pain be gone like this. If I looked you in the eye and told you that I had a cancer, you'd probably start praying for me and say chemo is the answer. But if I sat you down and told you that I suffer from depression, you'd probably stay quiet and look at me with the wrong impression. You'd probably start questioning me, maybe even give me a lesson about appreciating life and counting every day as a blessing. Which then I'll agree, but what you seem to be missing is that depression is an illness and no one wants to be in this position. Have you ever sat in a living room with your loved ones and friends, laughing, having a good time, hoping the night wouldn't end? You have a smile on your face, but deep down you feel weak. There's something killing you inside, but you wouldn't dare to speak. You're too afraid to talk because your illness has a stigma. Even though it's so common, people make it seem like an enigma. So you sit there quietly, you suffer all alone. You have over 1,000 contacts, but no one to call on your phone. Does anyone really care, is what you sit there and wonder? Well, maybe they will when I'm 6 feet under. So I want to ask you, why do we wait for a tragedy to deal with our tragedies? Why do we wait for something to go wrong to come up with a strategy? Why can't we be proactive? It really is that easy. To be the best versions of ourselves. That's the Mamba mentality. So I'm done complaining. It's time we all take action. It's time we put the phone down and do things old-fashioned. If you ever want to talk, we're going to do it face to face. And I won't leave the conversation until your mind is at a better place. Because the last thing I want to see is someone on the 6 o'clock news who took their own life away because they had no one to talk to. We all want to be loved. That's something we can agree on. Like Bill Withers said, we all need somebody to lean on. So come and take a walk with me, through the dark with me. I need a light. You can be the spark for me. You're unique, you're distinct, you're special. Your time on earth deserves a gold medal. So please don't ever feel like that you are never enough. And know that I'm here for you whenever times get tough. If you ever need a hand, I'll give you two. If you ever need to talk, I'll listen to you. Because sometimes all people need are your eyes and ears. They want to know that someone out there actually cares. So come on, let's have a conversation and set your mind free, because no one wants to be a LMNOP.